I bow to the God who lives within you as you, from everlasting to everlasting. Thou art God. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of God in our circle today and the masters he has brought with him to encircle us, to bless us in the work that we do, the beautiful work that we are, as we open like the blossoms that we are to the light that is ever present for us. May everyone, everything, everywhere be blessed. Amen. And I'd like to offer a prayer today for all the beings who have been impacted by the events on the island of Maui in the Pacific Ocean. As we raise our lights to offer our love, our prayers for their healing, for the magnificence of their sacrifice in the ever ascension upward to the reunion with the Almighty. May love flow from the great mystery of this seeming tragedy. May we all heal. May we all help each other in whatever way we can. To Maui, we offer our love. Now I'd like to hear our voices again in our intentions for today. But anybody feeling continuing offerings to Maui, to our world? Open your eyes when you complete. There's no.
I'll speak. Everyone seems reticent. So I'll let my voice come forth. My intention is to get a better understanding and a better way to receive the events that are labeled, and I label them as well, tragic, divisive, negative, painful. I want a better way of looking at those kinds of occurrences, a way that lifts me and does not bring me down. That's my intention for today.
Yes, yes, yes. Mine is similar. I was about to speak, Baji. We were simultaneous in our inspiration, but I was about to say that I want my thoughts to align with my knowing. Sometimes you know that God is there, but your thoughts are not aligned with that. You know that all is in divine plan, but the thoughts are not aligned with that. And it's really another way of saying what Baji said, really. Knowing what we know, what I know, is that all things are reaching toward the divine at all times. And that the energy of the urge toward the divine is, it distills down into our dimension as love and hate and hunger and sex and all of those things. It distills down to that, but it's all that urge toward God. And so those things that happen, like Maui, that break our hearts and cause us to question, I too want to have my thoughts align with what I know.
My intention is to stay like I am right now, with an open heart, for two-way communication from the heart. No matter who I'm around.
Mhm.
My intention is to stay present with an open heart and with gratitude, and to stay calm when I hear news stories, to be filled with light and love at all times, and to always be focused on those positive feelings no matter what I hear from the outside world.
I don't see her. Is she still here?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay. Can there I'm sorry, I forgot. Prasad, that's your spiritual name. I don't know if she can, if she's, I thought maybe she went off video and she's still here, if she'd like to contribute. No? Okay, then I honor your presence, and there you are. Would you like to share your intention for today, Prasad?
I'm having computer problems today. It's
Okay.
connected. But I would like, my intention is just to increase my love for to the people in Hawaii. Send them love and peace. You hear me? That
Mhm.
it freezes up.
Yeah. Mhm.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I think I'm going to just have to turn my video off. But my intentions are to send peace and love to the people in Hawaii.
Thank you. Okay. My intention is to, well, what comes is to gather us together in a way that allows us to receive what we intend to receive. That that there's something remarkable about our gathering today, and that there's such great love that's available for us to receive and to direct to from our hearts to the hearts to the heart of Maui. My intention is to receive all that there is to receive in our gathering today. May my heart open. May it continue to open. And may I share all that I receive. And let's move into the attunement. Just settle back and make sure your computer's on mute. Thank you. And breathe in through the nose and hold to the count of 7. And exhale through the mouth, releasing, relaxing, and letting go. And again, breathe in through the nose, hold to the count of 7, and exhale through the mouth, releasing, relaxing, and letting go. As we let go of our old grounding cord and project a brand new one down to the heart of Gaia, the goddess of the planet, eternal, all-knowing, such a huge aspect of the divine herself. She is divinity. As our grounding cords open to receive her wisdom, her comfort, her knowingness of what's going on in this amazing planet of ours. And as this wisdom ascends, and as we release from our own physical and energetic forms, the energy that she so lovingly recycles and tends to, her magnetic energy of the knowingness and the wisdom, the energy of the great mystery of the divine feminine, begins to move through our own beingness, steadying us, awakening us to deeper truths, to deeper understandings. As a shower of light from source begins to descend and showers over us and through us. The brilliance of the white light as it enters our cells, our energetic channels, and meets with the energy of the divine feminine, the divine feminine and the divine masculine, the symbol of the Tao, meeting, merging, learning from each other, and yet retaining their own individuality. Feel the inner balancing of your own consciousness. Feeling the body relax, come into greater health, releasing stress and tension, symptoms of upset. Feeling the essence, the core teachings of the Tao, this balance. It's said that the 3 treasures of the Tao, patience, simplicity, and compassion, are ours. Patience, simplicity, and compassion. Feel it ringing your head, circling the shower of energy, of teachings, of energetic balance and support as it moves through your beingness, as we are anchored to the divine feminine in Gaia at the center of our planet. As each of us becomes a pillar of balance, a living form of equilibrium. Sadness, despair balanced by hope and faith. Allowing the mind to rest as our energetic and mental bodies come into balance. An equilibrium beyond facts, beyond what we think we know, and into a realm of eternal equilibrium, the threshold of peace. Breathe. Feeling the breath of peace upon you. The joy of the Prince of Peace as he smiles upon you. Feel our ability to become more erect and more humble. Feel the treasure that this very equilibrium truly is. Alive, responsive, loving, and kind. Feel the equilibrium, the symbol of the Tao of the black and white circular form. In the heart, feel our circle joining together. Greater field of consciousness, of equilibrium. Let's see our beautiful planet at the center of our circle. As we radiate, and you may feel the need to raise your hands. If you do, please feel free to do so. Radiating equilibrium to the planet, to whatever areas of the planet you feel drawn, or the planet as a whole. Feel how soothing, supporting her in finding equilibrium for herself in the gentlest way possible. As we contribute to the field of consciousness, is everything. Our equilibrium contributes to the greater good. And gathered here together, gets even stronger, awakening equilibrium within the hearts and minds and soul nature of many, many beings in human form, animal form, plant, mineral form. Feel the harmonizing of the weather elements. Feeling everything. Receive soothing, balancing, and as others join. We are so we are light divine. We know that we are, so be it and be it so. As it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be. Worlds without end. Amen. Stay connected to this as long as we feel guided. When we feel complete, we rise. Thank you for your guidance. Invite all of you. I feel that a part of me is still in that exercise, still connected to that circle. I was that for everybody. Anybody like to share their experience?
I feel I was attuned.
Mission accomplished.
Indeed, it was. It was perfect. And I stated my intention as wanting a better understanding, and I have received that. And what came through for me, as you were referencing the Tao and the symbol, the infinity symbol, as humans and as spiritual beings, we have these experiences that are rotating from, you know, the expressed masculine side of life, you know, where there seems to be more directed, maybe aggression, activity. And then there's the more receptive, feminine aspect of the divine. And it's all part of life. And my problem is when there is stagnation in the flow. And as long as I am able to be aware and to do what I need to do to just keep that circulation moving, I can handle the aspects that come unexpectedly and wipe sometimes a number of people from the earth. They're just gone. But there are more that are left. And I recognize that I'm in that flow, and I was able to move with you through the attunement and end up with a better feeling. I'm in a better feeling place now. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Radha. I feel much more relaxed and centered and in the present moment. And that was really a wonderful experience of being in equilibrium and feeling that inner balance. And it's so good to know that in experiencing that myself, I am spreading that out through the collective unconscious of humanity. And I just really enjoyed that meditation. I feel much better. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, that was a great meditation, and it's so hard to keep a balance. I just thought about the will and the surrender. Uh, because too much will, it makes you very rigid. And then surrender, it makes you too flexible. So it's a fine line between the two. And I think that's a very well experienced when you're a parent, to surrender to just with the open heart to whatever your children want to do. That's been the hardest one for me in life. And also to change healthy habits. It's like you kind of in between duality, and it's so hard to keep in balance, and I'm working on it. That's part of the transformation. Yeah, that was a great meditation. Thank you.
And thank you for constantly reminding us to breathe. That rhythmic breath helps that balancing. So thank you for that.
Indira, I can't hear you. There we go.
You for that. Thank you so much for that meditation. It was beautiful. And I felt it kind of reminded me of the experience I had last week. I was visiting a friend who lives in this up in the mountains, and you just go and go and go to get her to her house once you pass the gate. And there she was leading me there because she met me at the gate because it was so hard to find. And as we were driving up the mountain around the curves, a huge eagle was just right in front of her car, and then was on her car in front of me, like not landing, but just floating in the air currents of her car right in front of me for probably a quarter of a mile. And it was just amazing. And that it kind of reminded me of that when you were talking about the balance and the surrender and the compassion and all of these things just are part of the natural flow if we can just find our way to float on it but the eagle was also making its own way. It wasn't completely surrendered, so it was the balance between using the air currents that were there and using its wings. So that's kind of what reminded me when Prasad was talking about the balance, was that eagle, and the meditation reminded me of that experience. It's just beautiful.
Well, thank you for that. I'm such a bird person, and I've had a similar experience with an eagle in driving, and it's unbelievable how powerful that is, and the ease of such power. It was, oh gosh, yeah. Oh, what a wonderful way to be ushered to visiting your friend.
Yeah, it really was. The wingspan she had this big SUV, and the wingspan was bigger than the SUV, just over the top of it. It's beautiful.
My experience was similar to what Indira was talking about. I felt myself floating above the area that I lived in, and looking down on it and seeing the beauty that was there in nature. And I felt like I was absorbing that with the intent to go to fly over other places where it wasn't so beautiful and try to spread that. Basically, to me, it felt what I got from that anyway is that that it was a healing process, that we needed to take the beauty and splendor of parts of the earth that we're familiar with and spread it to other parts that need that beauty and splendor and peace and tranquility.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I had a similar kind of thing going on too. Yeah, I remember many years ago when I was working with Samilma, and I may have shared this story, but I think it bears repeating. I was upset about something and called her all irate, and there was this long pause at the other end of the line, and she said, "I can't believe you would let something like that upset your equilibrium." And I was just, it threw me back on my heels, but I never forgot it. It's like, I'm sacrificing something that's such a treasure. And at that time I was just awakening to what a treasure it is. Over what, and as I'm with you today, I'm realizing, I'm getting chills while I'm talking about it. The freedom, that I need to surrender to the mystery. I need to give up the idea that I know anything.
Yeah.
I don't. I really and as I say that, that's not exactly. I believe in the power. I know the power of love to transform. I know that at our essence we are all love. Those things I know. Everything else, I don't think I know so much. And to be in that place relieves me of my self-righteousness, which nobody thanks me for, and restores my equilibrium. You know, like I don't have to have the answers. I don't have to. What I can know is that in equilibrium, I'm making a contribution. That if I pull my ego out of the way, if I pull my, I don't know, whatever is distorting me, you know, and it's generally well intentioned and totally ridiculous, but that's me. So this coming back to just equilibrium is it's something that has become more and more important to me. I wanted to read a story, and this actually comes from the writings of that great thinker Jung. And it said there was a great drought where the missionary Richard Wilhelm lived in China. There had not been a drop of rain, and the situation became catastrophic. The Catholics made processions, the Protestants made prayers, Chinese burned joss sticks and shot off guns to frighten away the demons of the drought, but with no result. Finally, the Chinese said, "We will fetch the rainmaker." And from another province, a very small old man appeared. The only thing he asked for was a quiet little house somewhere, and there he locked himself in for 3 days. On the fourth day, clouds gathered, and there was a great rainstorm at the time of year when no rain was expected, an unusual amount, and the town was so full of rumors about the wonderful rainmaker that Wilhelm went to ask the man how he did it. In true European fashion, he said, "They call you the rainmaker. Will you tell me how you made the rain?" And the old man said, "I did not make the rain. I'm not responsible." "But what have you done for 3 days?" "Oh, I can explain that. I come from another country where things are in order. Here they are out of order. They are not as they should be by the ordinance of heaven. Therefore, the whole country is not in Tao. And I am also not in the natural order of things because I'm in a disordered country. So I had to wait 3 days until I was back in Tao. And then naturally the rains came. You know, I think some of us have heard this before, but there's a few things that I'm particularly moved by with this. One is the factual aspect of it. It had always been presented to me as a story, kind of. And the power of one person to make a difference. That when we're in that, sometimes we can feel so tiny in the face of the goings on of the world. We forget what a difference one person in balance can make. Especially when we have the consciousness that we are making that kind of a contribution. Who we're being in our balance can make such a difference. I found in my own life recently, the awareness I have of what I'm doing has amplified it. Whereas before, I've always been, I don't know, kind of, I guess on my own, just my own personal healing, my own journey on the spiritual path, it's been to realize who I am. That's been a big thing for me. And some of you here have been very helpful and instrumental in helping me understand who I am. Each of us is divine. When I begin the satsang with "I bow to the God who lives within you as you," that's who I'm talking to, because God lives with God lives within you as you. You have, you are all of that. All of that. It doesn't make you special. It just makes you a person and participating in God's great creation. One of the things that I remember, this movie Oppenheimer is big these days. I remember hearing about when the atom was first split. There was tremendous destruction, obviously, but there's tremendous light. That's who God is. That's God is everywhere. God is everything. That power, that incredible, powerful light. I mean, we've got more atoms in our body than we can count. That kind of power and that light is love. It is the essence of God. It is the essence of everything. Other aspects, other interests, or whatever have distorted it, but it's impossible for anything to not be made of love because it all comes from God. As we move into this time of greater equilibrium, it's easier to naturally awaken to the power of this love that we are. And that we move like Jesus did. No big deal, no fanfare, no nothing. We're just being the light, consciously being the light, knowing that we're working for God, we're working for the greater good, and we enable, we allow and encourage the light to awaken wherever we go. It's so simple when we get out of our own way. That's really, and allow ourselves to receive a truth that all we are is love and light. And we're down here having these crazy adventures. And we can return again and again, like the balancing of that Tao, to really being able to make a difference while we're down here. So the way today, I wanted to talk about the path of tiny treasures or small treasures. I forget how I edited it, but there are ways when we get thrown off, what brings us back? What reminds us during the course of the day that there's way more at play than what we think? And I surround myself with things that speak to me. I'm a big feather person. I have bouquets of feathers around because of the symbol of freedom that it is to me, and majesty, and those beings that are able to go where I can't get. The pictures of my children. There's music I listen to. There are people I call and speak to when I lose my way or need a hand to hold. There's nature is a tremendous resource. We certainly talk about that a lot there, how tremendously generous nature is. Sometimes I think of all of you and our circle here, that I'm a part of something that that allows me to be myself and allows me to be a better person because I'm in your company. I feel that our circle is like a template for the future. I really believe that's true. I spoke about murmuration, I don't know, several months back about the birds that the starlings that fly together. And I feel that's how we are. On the currents and the consciousness of love. I got a chill with them. Would anybody like to share what helps bring them back to center, what inspires them, whatever's going on? Love to hear.
I think maybe because my intention, that's the reason my intention was what it was, because what centers me is aligning with what I know. And like you said, I don't know very much, but I know a couple of things. And those things are really fundamental, basic, primary. And if I align with them, that brings me back to center. It helps me to remember, because it's easy for me, especially people who are compassionate, empathetic, sensitive. These things are easy. It's easy to get caught up in the tragedy of what's going on. It's easy for me to get caught up in the tragedy of what's going on. And not just in Hawaii. I mean, all around the world, every day there's, there are people imprisoned and in dungeons and things like you just can't imagine what it would be like, to live those lives. And it's easy for me to get caught up in those. That's why I don't like scary movies. I don't like, because my mind, my heart, my whole being goes in that direction. I have to keep remembering what I know. I have to keep remembering that everything is moving toward the realization of the divine. And I just read a book, Barbara Kingsolver, who's one of my favorite authors. I just read her book, The Prodigal Summer, and it was all about the interconnectedness of nature and the beauty of that, and also the cruelty of that, the predators, and but how if one of her chapters was called Predators. I mean, that was a recurring chapter, was called Predators. And it had to do with the fact that if you take away the predators, it messes up the entire ecosystem. So it's just this whole awareness of everything is okay. And it makes me think of that Joseph Campbell interview that Bill Maher did. Moyers, thank you. I know I always say those wrong. Bill Moyers, thank you, did on PBS. And he said that he went to see that teacher that was up in the Himalayas, I think, or something. And he said to him, he asked him a question. He said, don't we have to be okay with even the worst things? And the teacher said, for me and you, yes, we do. Because he's like, your level of knowledge, you're able to do that, or your level of understanding, you're able to do that. So I remember that so much, because I was like, being okay with horror and tragedy is a challenge. It's a challenge, but we do it in our own lives. And again, gosh, I've been reading that poem. Oh, I can't find it. That Rudyard Kipling poem, that if you can maintain, in your love in the middle of hate, and it's better than that, obviously. I don't know what I did with it. I had it here somewhere. But anyway, I've been reading that poem too. And it's really about that. It's really in our own little worlds. We have all of those smaller, I have all of those smaller iterations of what's going on in the larger world, and things are going well and not going well, and according to my ego's ideas of what well is, and being able to be in equanimity in that situation is what contributes to the equanimity in the entire world. So anyway, that's just what I was thinking about.
Thank you, dear.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of got maybe, well, similar but opposite. the things, the thing that centers me, as I know I've told you, I've been working on me for over a year anyway, specifically, and one of the things that I studied during this period of time was a course that Shanti put me onto called Positive Intelligence, and it's basically a matter. The basic premise in that is you look for things that calm you down, for things that build the equilibrium within you, and that keeps you from overreacting, when other events occur. And one of the suggestions was find a picture of yourself when you were under 2 years old, or under 5 years old anyway, and keep that around so that you can look at that periodically when you feel the need. And it is supposed to remind us of a day before we learned all the BS that we've learned that life has taught us, or before we develop the prejudices and the opinions that we have now. And I look at that picture. I've got two of them of the same time frame. One in my living room area and one in my office area. And I look at those pretty frequently because that it basically reminds me of a time when I didn't know anything. And I realized that right now I really don't know anything. So it opens the possibility of learning. It opens the possibility of viewing things differently. And I kind of realized that this discussion reminded me of what happened yesterday evening. Several of us got together at the community pool, as we do on Friday nights anyway, and it had been, we're in the pool to start with, but then we had to leave because it was storming, or had to go under shelter anyway. And we were eating and having some drinks and just shooting the bull, and the rain stopped just before sunset, and the clouds parted a little bit, and we experienced one of the most beautiful sunsets I've seen since I've been here, after a pretty significant storm. And it felt amazing to me. It awesome, and I liked that feeling. And I think if I had not been working enough and looking at that picture of me, as a baby, I probably wouldn't have experienced the awesomeness of that view last night. Anyway, there is beauty in this world, even though there's an awful lot of bullshit too.
It's true. And I love what you're pointing to about doing our work, the letting go of those things that just obstruct our life. It's all stuff that we picked up along the way for whatever reason. Yeah, the more simple, humble, original we are. Yeah, the payoff is so incredible. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. It's another thing I fully believe in.
Yes, I've been working with shedding old beliefs that block my light too. And I know that I have so much negative intelligence that makes me have thoughts that cause me pain, and I want to shed all of those old, negative beliefs and thoughts that I've accumulated along the way. And um, um, sometimes it's hard, though. I find myself just feeling like I have trouble having a voice when I'm in a group of people, and even when I'm just with one person. And uh, I um, I just really want to find a way to break out of that, so that I flow freely and express freely and always speak from my higher self instead of my ego.
May it be so. I want to just mention, you look so beautiful, Ishwari. Yeah, I don't know what changed, but I think everybody else sees it too. There's something about you that's lovely.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, things, yeah, I'm glad you're here.
Well, I'm glad to be here too. I want to be more of a verbal part of the group, and thank you for listening to me. And I'd like to check out that course you mentioned, Jim. I'll Google it on the internet. Um,
Give Shanti a call, because she's the one that she had taken the course, and she's the one that presented it for me. So, and she's closer to you than she is to me. So, I mean, distance wise anyway. So, and she'd be happy to let you know about the course too.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ishwari. Audrey, did you want to say anything before we close, or are you complete?
I am complete. Receive more than I expected to get. I always get goodness, but this exceeded that. Thank you all.
This group just gets better and better. I see it in everybody's face, and in that attunement today while we were circling the globe, I just felt such a familial, just like such great purpose in us coming together and being able to make a difference, because of the way we love each other, and just the way love awakens within us when we're together, and our own individual love of the light. It's a beautiful thing. You guys are just the best. Oh, may my heart is full of love for us together and for each of you individually. May the upcoming month bring you that which you seek. May you continue to know that you are loved beyond measure, and that you are treasured by so many, that you make a difference just by being here. God bless you. Amen. God loves you, and so do I. Take care, everybody. I'll see you next month.